The first topic that we are going to cover is rapport, mirroring, facial expressions and body language. What this means is that basically, we mentioned earlier on in the course, is that there are so many more ways that we communicate as people, more than just the words that come out of our mouth. We have the words that we choose, either written or spoken, but we also have our tone of voice. That someone can be angry in their tone and when they communicate stuff, or you can say the same words but in a funny way, and that's what comedians often do. And people know if it's a joke or if it's serious or if it's angry, but your tone of voice is genuinely important. But then actually a massive 55% of how we communicate is actually in our body language and everything else that we do, which isn't necessarily verbal. For sales presentation and business meetings, what is really important is to build a relationship with the people that we're trying to get to know. And ideally, humans like people who we deem are similar to ourselves. When looking to build relationships with people, one of the really important things to do is actually sit and listen. Often as a salesperson, it's very keen and very easy to just talk all the time because you're trying to share the values of what you offer. But the truth is, the most important thing that you can do is actually ask questions. All of the best salespeople actually ask questions first and really let the other person speak. Because the more that they speak, the more they share about their needs, wants and desires. And actually it's these that we can use to then communicate back to them to really give them the best service possible. We cover this later in the course in something called high value technical selling. But really, if you can, let the other person speak and dominate the conversation in the early kind of meetings. The other thing that's really important to do, and I'm a big fan of someone called Tony Robbins, who really kind of pioneered and talks about a lot of this work, and it's something called mirroring. So essentially, if you're sat in a room with someone, actually, if you can, copy their gestures, copy their body language. And what you're essentially doing is communicating that you're in sync with this person, that you have similar values and visions and background. And actually, one great way to do that is that if they are very calm and laid back and they sit back in their chair, copy what they do so that you should do the same. And what it'll do will make them feel more comfortable in your presence. The same is true if you're talking to someone that's very excitable and they talk with their hands like I do, and they talk very fast and they're looking to react very quickly with someone. Show the similar energy and actually your high level kind of approach to reacting to what they do, showing that you're similar. And the truth is they will actually like you more and you will build the relationship stronger together. Chances are it will be a one-to-one kind of scenario or call, and actually let the other person talk, really let them speak and use that as a way to gather information. The other thing that is really important to keep in mind as well, I try and do it on the podcasts that we do, that when the other person is talking, don't just sit there with a blank expression and with no reaction. What you want to be is an active listener, to show, if you can, by nodding and really listening to the people, to really let them know that you're listening to what they're saying and understanding their needs. Being an active listener is actually very important. It is a skill, and actually just demonstrating that you're focused on that person, that you're listening to them, and that you can understand their needs will also help you sell more, because they will believe that you have actually understood what they want and that you can help. So although some of this might be new to you, some of it might be something you've done for many years, always keep it in mind that when you meet new people from scratch, look to see how they act. How do they sit? Do they sit forward and they're interested? Or are their arms crossed, their legs pointed away from you, showing negative body language and they're not really interested? I'm a huge fan in body language, and actually on YouTube there's some really great videos to learn about different techniques for body language. There is too much to cover on the course and much of it is human nature, but the point is you can tell from how someone reacts to how well they are receiving of your message, and actually if you have them engaged in the conversation. If you don't, and you don't think the person is listening to you or engaged, change tack, change the way you're sat, change the way you're acting, and really help build rapport and mirroring with the person.